Wanted to give a quick update on my 2020 Kawasaki ZH2. I'm through break-in. I did the first service last weekend, and the service was pretty standard. Just to apologize for the wind here. Just standard oil change, chain adjust. You can't adjust the clutch because it's hydraulic. There's no throttle cable end play to adjust because it's all ride-by-wire. Nothing surprising. Just an oil change and chain adjust. I bought a Z900 exhaust for it because the internet told me that they fit and I was unable to get it to fit. The pipe, the lower mid pipe that goes into the header is actually the same size as the header for the Z2, so I would have to take it to a muffler shop and get it stretched, and that's not something I was really interested in. I did buy the Kawasaki, the Krapovich slip-on, not the catalyzed one, the small can one, and I bought the decibel killer for it. So once that gets here, we'll see how that does. If it's loud, I'll 86 it and probably go with the catalyzed version, which will probably be too quiet. I commented first about the brakes being just kind of standard mill. They're actually not. They're very, very good. Once I got them bedded in, they offer a lot of feel, and they are very, very, very strong brakes. I know they're supposed to be the mid-level Brembo calipers, but to be honest with you, I can't tell the difference between those and the ones that were on my KTM Super Duke. I added a tail tighty. As you can see, that's a Vagabond, which I've bought dozens of, and they're great because you can utilize the factory lights, so you don't get any hassles around here for state inspection. That's actually the Z900 one. It does fit the H2 perfectly. I added a Power Bronze mid-level tinted screen, which I think looks really good. I don't know if it provides me a whole lot of wind protection, but it kind of shades the instrument cluster a little bit, so it's easier to see in direct sunlight. For fuel mileage, I was seeing almost 40. I did a 150-mile ride on Sunday, which I know is not epic by any stretch, but I saw almost 40 miles per gallon, which I was happy with. It wasn't bad at all, and actually the bike was extremely comfortable. We stopped once in those 150 miles, and I didn't have any pain really. I was fine. I've got a shoulder injury, a knee injury, and a lower back issue. So if that's any indicator, I did add the Kawasaki tank protector thing, which was basically an $80 piece of plastic with double-sided tape on it. Otherwise, I mentioned before that it was ridiculously fast. I finally have been able to actually get on it. I held it wide open first, second, and third, and it made me reevaluate what I thought motorcycles could do. It's ridiculous. The only bike I could even think to hold some level of comparison to that I've owned and ridden is a KTM 1290 Super Duke. Now, my Super Duke was, it had a full exhaust. No, I'm sorry, it did not. It had a link pipe, aftermarket slip-on, dyno tune. I had carbon fiber wheels on it, and it had the Rottweiler Stage 4. It had some stuff done to it. That bike made 160-ish horsepower, I think it was, when it was tuned. And the only comparison I can make is that bike made power extremely quickly. It was almost, here. This is the longest march ever, even though it's May. The KTM Super Duke made a ton of power right as soon as you grabbed hold of the throttle. I mean, it would loft the front wheel, even with the nannies on. The comparison I can make between that and this is that this bike is deceptive regarding how much speed it carries. It doesn't have that initial kick in the pants that the Twin does on the KTM Super Duke. But I think once you get over that initial kick in the pants, this bike just, it shoots off. I mean, it builds speed. It's alarming. And I don't say that lightly. I know there's 200 horsepower bikes out there. I can't really comment on those. This is the only one of those I've ever ridden. And 200 horsepower in a motorcycle is beyond ridiculous. When I started riding street bikes, the Katana 600 was your 600 Super Sport from Suzuki. And the CBR 600, I think, was the class leader at 86 horsepower, 85 horsepower, something like that. And this makes more than double that and really doesn't weigh a whole lot more. I think the FCR 1000 at the time was like 110 or 120 horsepower or something like that. I mean, it's the leapfrogging that these bikes have done is just astronomical. It's unbelievable. Am I happy I bought this thing? Yes. I'm a little scared that I bought it, but I absolutely love it. You can go as slow as you want to on it. It's pretty smooth. It's actually very smooth. And you want to kick it down a few gears and take off. It's incredible. I don't know. There's really no way to convey that feeling. It's silly. And nobody knows what it is. That's what's funny. I've ridden past guys in sport bike groups and they just, wave, and nobody knows what this thing is.